Morning, everybody.
Welcome, Gavin.
Good to be here. Thank you, Mark, and welcome everybody to San Francisco. It was great to see so many people coming, standing up from countries all around the world. And I want to remind folks that San Francisco is the birthplace of the United Nations. We're one of the most diverse cities and one of the most diverse regions and one of the most diverse states in the world's most diverse democracy. And I think what makes San Francisco a special place is the capacity for people to live together, to advance together, and to prosper together across every conceivable difference. This is a city that truly doesn't just tolerate its diversity, it celebrates it each and every day. And I think that's the magic, that's the secret of the success of a city that I think can best be described as a city of dreamers, a city of doers, a city of entrepreneurs, a city of innovators, a city that has long prided itself on being on the leading and cutting edge of new ideas. And that's why I'm particularly proud to be here with a San Francisco-based company, with an extraordinary leader, my friend Marc Benioffs and salesforce.com. And I'm here to welcome all of you to this wonderful, oftentimes wacky place, San Francisco. Thank you all for coming out today.
Well, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being here. We're really delighted to have you. Of course, always a pleasure to see you. And congratulations on the birth of your child. I hope that you're getting some sleep.
Did it show in my comments this morning? I'm just glad to see you in a suit, Mark.
Hey,
that's what's impressive. Obviously you've seen Mark in
I prefer the Hawaiian shirt, but for days like this, I get dressed up for the customers. What can I say, Gavin?
And I had to get dressed down. I took my tie off when I saw you.
Well, I appreciate that. So, Mayor, look, this is a very generous group, and you know that we have Dreamforce here every year in San Francisco. Yep. We are a San Francisco company. We do have a few thousand employees down at 1 Market Street. And, one of the great things I want to just let you know about is that yesterday, a whole bunch of them, about 300 of these great people here, they went down to the Bayview Hunters Point area, which I know is a big area and focus for your administration. Yeah. And they did over 2,000 hours of community service and helped to give back a little bit to the city of San Francisco. I just think it's absolutely fantastic what they did. You know what? If you participated in that yesterday, would you just stand up if you went down to Bayview's Hunters Point? Would you just stand up? Thank you very much.
Mark, let me tell you why this is a big deal. And I don't want to get preachy here, but let me tell you why this is a big deal. Any of you that know a little bit about San Francisco know that the southeast sector, in this area where so many of your employees, Mark, were out yesterday, is one of those underserved areas that we talk about, you read about, those areas that are dominantly in an African-American community. It's an area of San Francisco where your prostate cancer rates, your cervical cancer rates, and your breast cancer rates are 2 to 4 times greater than the state and federal average. It's an area where we had 2 of the most polluting power plants in the state of California. One we finally shut down, one that we're trying to shut down. And what your folks did yesterday is a big deal. We're opening an eco center out there. San Francisco is unquestionably, unless you're from Portland, it's unquestionably the greenest city in the United States of America. And we want to maintain that leadership. We have a global climate action plan that is second to none, and we're actually implementing it. So we're building an eco center out there to deal with the issue of environmental justice. And so the work you did yesterday was meaningful, it was purposeful, and for me, the symbolism of that contribution is something I just don't want anyone to miss, because it has, I think, a significant, or rather, it marks a significant reason, again, why I'm here. Mark talks a lot about the importance of contribution, but he's always talked about it. He didn't just discover this. This is something that he started at Salesforce, and he delivers, not rhetorically, not just at conferences like this, but every day, not just yesterday, but every day. So, Mark,
I just want to stop you and say I have to really at this point say it's not me, but it is my employees and our customers who have done this work. It is amazing how they get out there. And there's some unusual characters out there in Bayview Hunters Point. I mean, there's one right there, Frank Van Vievendahl, our EVP, of sales out there.
We tried to stop him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But, when we told him that there was some nuclear waste to remove, he just jumped right in. It's fantastic.
It's clear he's been exposed to that before. That's not fair. That's not.
So, Mr. Mayor, I also want to tell you that salesforce.com Foundation and our company is supporting lots of your local nonprofits, many of the ones that you're associated with. I guess one of the great stories of your administration has been Project Homeless Connect. You send thousands of people out on the street to help the homeless here in San Francisco, which is a kind of a national congregation. Every day, I guess, is a Dreamforce for the homeless here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And you've created a situation where thousands go out to help them. You provide databases where they can record all their information, keep track of them, make sure that they can get to the service organizations that can help them, and then provide financial assistance to them to maybe either get home or do something that lets them take the next step.
At peril, again, of patronizing and pandering and sucking up to Marc here. Everybody
that's fine, by the way, and it's totally allowed here.
That's why I'm here. But anyone who comes to San Francisco recognizes we have some big challenges when it comes to the issue of poverty in all its forms and manifestations, but its most acute form and manifestation is a guy out there with a shopping cart who's been out there 5, 6, 7, 10 years. A number of years ago, we decided to move in a different direction, and one of the programs we're most proud of is Project Homeless Connect, where we said, look, we're all part of this, we're all in this together, and it's no longer good enough to talk about the state of California, the federal government, or just local government solving the problem. What are you as an individual going to do to help participate in solving the problem? So we created a volunteer-driven initiative. Every 6 weeks, 1,000-plus people go out in the streets and sidewalks and help pick up 1,000-plus folks that are out there. The problem was, Marc, we had no capacity to look at what we were actually doing in terms of outcomes because we didn't have an intake, we didn't have a system to which we can collect data. And then you learned about this. I think you called me up about 4 or 5 years ago and you said, we can help. And that's how I actually discovered your philanthropic work. And you went out and you guys actually came out and volunteered that day and you said, here's what we can do. 6 weeks later, you put together this entire system. And now we know that 10,133 human beings are off the streets in the last 5 years in our city. This is the first time the city's ever been able to collect that data and prove its success. So thank you, Marc.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it's great leadership, and I'll tell you, we're really lucky because 10 years ago we came up with that 1-1-1 model, the inspiration we got from Colin Powell, and we were able to enable Project Homeless Connect. We've been able to give it hundreds of thousands of dollars because we had the money. Our employees, because we have thousands of them here in San Francisco, so many of them come out. I see Jim Steele right here in the front row. I think he's usually the leader of the band when we do that. And we also provide all the technology. You needed a database system and a system that has a kind of the mobile capabilities that we do, and so we built the technology infrastructure. And again, that's really the power of an enabling model, and I encourage our competitors, I encourage our customers, I encourage others to use this model. It's so easy to put in place, and then once it gets in place, it becomes integrated in your culture. You can't stop it. It just goes.
Yeah, and when you talk about going, you know that now what you guys did is now replicated, true story, in 108 cities across the country. And I want to say this as a good Democrat, that the Bush administration, to their credit, recognized, and they recognize every year December 8th as Project Homeless Connect Day in the United States. And they were the ones that helped support the scaling of this program. And now we have 3 countries that have begun to replicate this model. So again, you talk about making a difference, starting locally, beginning to scale that, and having an impact and input elsewhere. I think this is a perfect example. So again, just hats off to all the work your team has done, and thank you again for that contribution.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And we also have another example. As you saw, there's about 1,000 nonprofit organizations here doing things. And we selected one that you're associated with, which is a great organization called Year Up. And we've invited Jay Banfield, the executive director. Come on out, Jay.
All right, Jay.
To represent all the nonprofits.
Mayor.
Welcome, Jay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Delighted to have you. Jay, can you just tell us a little bit about Year Up and what it does?
Sure, it's really simple. We provide opportunities for urban young adults to demonstrate their skills and earn, and I do mean earn, a career in technology or in business. We do it through partnerships with leaders like you, Mark, and you, Mr. Mayor. I really want to thank both of you for bringing Europe to the San Francisco Bay Area. We'll serve 1,000 students next year, and they go through 6 months of rigorous training in information technology, professional skills, business communication. They enroll in college, they earn an educational stipend. After 6 months, they get a 6-month internship with leading companies like salesforce.coms. They graduate, and 85% of them will be working within 4 months of graduation, earning on average an annualized salary of $32,000 a year, and more than half of them will be enrolled in college either full or part-time.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, we were talking backstage about the 1-1-1 model, and you'd already kind of figured out how you put the 1-1-1 model in place at Year Up. Can you tell everybody how you did that?
Yeah, Mark, I know you're a big believer in the idea of integrated philanthropy, and we've certainly been a beneficiary of that. We literally wouldn't be here without you. When I started San Francisco 2 years ago, I was able to put our data management system in place in 1 day because I could log into Salesforce. And so salesforce.com Foundation was the first funder to come in to give us seed money to open up here in San Francisco. Your employees have given us hundreds of hours as mentors, tutors, guest lecturers for our students. Your CIO, Kirsten Wolberg, serves on our board. And as you know, you host interns and you've hired alumni from our program. So we've been embraced by you.
Well, that's a great story. And how about the technology? Is there anything you're doing with our technology, Jay?
Absolutely. So the mayor and I go back a few years, and I know he's going to be jealous.
I tried to hire this guy, and he rejected me to get into philanthropy. So, and look what a difference you've made. You could have been working for me and just been lost somewhere. I'm so proud of you.
I know I would have had a great time with you, too. And so, so the mayor's going to be jealous because I know how much he loves data. And so we're a social entrepreneurial model recognized by the White House. We've won social capitalist awards. And so we run ourselves like a business. And so we demand real data in real time to make good decisions about how to allocate limited resources to have a maximum impact on our students, for the companies that we serve, and the communities that we serve. So I use Salesforce every day. It permeates everything that we do, and I'm happy to show you one.
Well, that'd be great. I'd love to see a quick demo because sure. I'm a guy who loves technology. You know that, Mayor. And I'd love to see a demo and see how our customers are using the technology. Sometimes we learn something, we can make it better. So, Jay, what are you logged into here?
So this is looking at our sales forecasting. So obviously, for any nonprofit in the room, but any business, we're interested in our cash flow. So this is a new product that we've implemented using Visualforce and looking at our forecasting for 2010. Obviously interested in cash flow and being able to plan our work for the year. But I think the other thing that's interesting is to look at the revenue mix. So not only looking at cash flow, but where are the dependencies in terms of fundraising. And this is something I use as a management tool. I use the data from Salesforce to make decisions every day, every week, every quarter to set my plans. This certainly tells me that my revenue mix, I'd like to grow the corporate size in terms of the fundraising, so it's a smaller piece of the pie right now. And I'd love to add the public sector to that pie.
And how many users do you have on the system today?
So we have roughly 200 users across the country in 6 sites.
Fantastic. Well, Jay, we can't be more pleased to have you here, and I hope you can enjoy the conference. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for coming out and welcoming everyone.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank the Mayor of San Francisco, Gavin Newsom.
Enjoy your conference, everybody.
And Jay, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you. Thank you.